And upper back and neck, is it from work?
Yes.
Is it like computer stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Computer stuff, you're a nurse.
Yep.
No, you spend all your time making eye contact with patients and being kind to them.
Yeah. And we've gotten so away from hands-on patient care, which...
Yeah, which is what you thought you'd be doing, right?
Well, in the old... Mind you, I'm not 20. I've been in healthcare for
You're not
almost
20?
30
oh,
years.
don't 30 years. Whatever.
So back in the day...
What do you tell lies?
Back in the day, we had a lot more hands-on contact. Now it's all about paperwork and computers and charting and...
Right there.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, we're going to make this better. We're going to get into there. And lean back for me. How's that right there?
Good.
Okay. And head back. Is that too far back for your head and neck?
No.
There we go.
Pretty cool.
There. How's that?
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, when I work with students, one of the things I've started to encourage them to do, because I do feel like I'm branching away from Thai massage, branching away from even the word massage sometimes. Mm-hmm. Like I use it because people need to find my YouTube video and understand we're doing something comparable. Mm-hmm. But they start to think in a box, if we call it Thai massage. Mm-hmm. So I try to explain to them that when they do their intake, okay, give the person paperwork, but what I want you to do is I want you to collect the bulk of the information online in advance of the session. Mm-hmm. Saves time. And then when they come in, you're going to say, Jack, I see that you're having elbow pain. You know, you've listed on your paperwork here, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. I want you to talk to him and make eye contact. It's like a part of the thing I have to teach the therapist because it really relates to client care and business. Mm-hmm. If I spend all my time just looking at the paperwork, he's annoyed.
Right.
He's a number now. If I go, Jack, where does your arm hurt? And he goes, oh man, it's hurting over here on my elbow. And I go, where on your elbow? Does it hurt like to the back? Does it hurt to the side? Even like light touch, you know, it's like your shoulder. Okay, does it hurt more to the side? Does it hurt more to the front? Mm-hmm. That goes a really long way to building rapport with a person, especially in such a personal, kind of intimate kind of work.
Right.
I encourage them to put the paperwork away as much as possible and actually talk to the person.
They feel engaged and a part of their treatment.
Yeah. And that's a big one. For me, for pain relief, huge. Right. If you saw me all the time, so let's say you had a session with me once a week for 3 hours, what would your quality of life be like?
Oh, probably much more improved.
You would probably be a nicer mom.
Our wife. Mom, we got together. And his wife, yes.
So pain is reduced, mobility is increased, just general sense of well-being is improved. A lot of what we sell, and I think this is where I was talking about from a nurse perspective or a doctor's perspective, dentists, people in the healthcare industry, so much of it is just client care. Mm-hmm. Like, they don't even expect you to be perfect.
Right.
But if they can tell you care about them,
right,
and the actual process goes a long way. So I got you here. If I bring you up and give you a little stretch to the neck, how's that?
That's good, sir.
Okay. So if I go to there, not too much? Okay. What about a little bit to the right?
Good.
Or a little bit to the left?
Good.
And back for me. There we go. Still not too far back?
No.
Okay. And it's not rubbing on your shoulder blades in a way that's uncomfortable?
No.
There we go. See, I think maybe I'm a bit of an anomaly in the industry because I started where I love the art. And I still love the art, but what I learned to love was business. And then business doesn't mean what it used to mean. Business used to be evil. Evil, money grubbing, capitalists, taking advantage of people, keeping them down. The man. And I don't think about business that way anymore. At all. So like you were talking about, you know, it sounded to me like your dream would be able to just do massage full time.
Oh, yeah.
And you can absolutely do that. But you have to build the business.
Right.
Yeah. And that's a different business than working as a nurse, I suppose, underneath a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, within certain confines.
Right, definitely. Oh, you call this the back walk, or does it have a name?
So if I'm right there, am I grabbing your top of your shoulder blade in a way that's uncomfortable?
No.
Okay.
Perfect.
So some teachers will take to naming some of these.
Mm-hmm.
I have resisted that for better or worse. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you'll just use like a simple, like you call it the back walk, just because it's a simple,
mm-hmm.
you know, term. The work and the way I teach it is not as systematic as, say, like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Mm-hmm. In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, they've actually given names to most of the primary like ways of a grip, for instance. I've never seen that systematically done in Thai massage. I've seen some commonalities, but people also tend to just make up names.
Right.
Yeah.
And trademark them and then.
That's a murky area. I could talk about trademark and copyright stuff because I've had to deal with some of it,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's sometimes it's what's easiest. So I can say that the reason I didn't name stuff and I resisted it is because I felt like students would come in and want a technique. Mm-hmm. Show me a technique, show me a technique, show me a technique. But they wouldn't necessarily know when to apply it.
Right.
Or what's the sequence.
Mm-hmm.
It would get to this point where I was afraid that the more I codified it, the more they would get fixated on the form instead of allowing it to improvise and change.
Right.
So I wrote the first workbook, knew what I didn't know. People said, we want table tie. And I was like, why do these massage therapists want to work on a table? This is ridiculous. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So I begrudgingly sat down and wrote a 142-page manual. Prone, supine, sideline. Mm-hmm. It's one of the I think my Thai massage workbooks is some of the best workbooks on Thai massage in English, period. Mm-hmm. I'm biased. Mm-hmm. Admittedly so. Then I went back to the mat, 220 pages. Then I went to sideline. Sideline was the last one. I had to think about how do you break up curriculum? How do I want to set it up? Mm-hmm. It was 262 pages. I basically worked on one person from their toes up to the top of their head for 262 pages and then said, okay, now turn them over, do it again. Wow. I covered it by position, but I didn't want to focus excessively on techniques. And one of the things that I found interesting was the workbooks, other than like YouTube videos, were the first real documentation of my practice. Mm-hmm. And the people who did, the few people who bought them, right there, how's that?
That's good.
Both sides.
Yes.
Yeah. The people who bought them and read them said, Robert, the work keeps changing. And I'm like, yeah. Like, I'm just teaching you scales. Like, this isn't, like, the Rolling Stones were different at album 1 than they were at album 15. Right. Like, what don't you get? It's like, okay, is this the early James Brown, or is this the James Brown with the smaller band with Bootsy? You know, it's like, it changes. Right. And that's where I feel this struggle, because I want to codify to a point so that they can pick it up and use it. Mm-hmm. But I don't want them to get fixated on, it's got to be this way. Right. So like, even me, like I'm very biased to the mat. And one of the reasons I'm biased to the mat is, in the session I've done with you so far, I use my feet 50+% of the time. Mm-hmm. When I'm on a table, I can't. Right. So I prefer the mat. I'm fixated on that. But I'm even softening that to a point, because I keep showing it to them on a table again and again and again, because that's where they work. Right. Yeah. How's the right side?
Perfect.
How's the left side?
Good.
Exactly.